what's your reaction to LeBron owning a team and then wanting it to be in Vegas?
Well, we're years removed from anybody owning the team, from the NBA expanding. That's number one. Number two, I think it's going to be a challenge for him because that's a good old boys club. They have to let you in. You don't just get in just because you have the money. So we have to keep that in mind. And over the years, how some of these owners have had issues with him. Having said all of that, I put nothing past LeBron James and his team, particularly led by Maverick Carter. I put nothing past them. They can achieve anything. And to be quite honest with you, with what LeBron has meant to the game of basketball, I'm going to go so far as to say I think the league would owe it to him to facilitate him owning a basketball team. He has not just been a superstar on the court. He's been a superstar off the court. He's been a quintessential role model in every way, shape, and form. I would remind everybody that the only thing that LeBron James has done that put a blemish on the NBA was when he sat up there and just went on national TV and announced that he was taking his talents to South Beach. And that ain't wrong in a lot of people's eyes. That's the only thing you can say about him. This man has been as close to perfection as you could possibly expect from any superstar in the history of sports. He has been a role model. He has been a champion. He has been somebody that's put in the work. He has never, ever cheated the game. He's exhibited exemplary professionalism and class, leadership. The list goes on and on and on. And in his 19th season, at age 37, despite the pathetic season that the Los Angeles Lakers have, while you got people walking around off season, chilling with smiles on their face and acting like it ain't no big deal that they home, LeBron tweets out, "I'm never missing the playoffs again. This bleep hurts watching these playoff games," reminding the audience about how much he cares about winning, how much he cares about being in the championship picture, even after all of these years. This is what any sports league is supposed to want. And when you have a potential owner that has that resume, that put forth those kind of accomplishments and has done so in exemplary fashion from a character perspective as well, there is no question that LeBron James deserves ownership of an NBA franchise, and the NBA would be absolutely lucky to have him, and the league should be planning now to do everything they can to make sure that LeBron James has a majority stake in owning an NBA team. He deserves it.
Stephen A., your last line was the headline. The NBA should be doing everything in its power to make sure that one of its brightest stars in the history of the game, even if you are on the side that Michael Jordan is the greatest player on the planet, okay, if LeBron James is a second or third, whatever your opinion is, it would be in the best business of the NBA to have that representation for your brand globally. A kid from Akron who not only had the talent, but had the business acumen with the team he associated himself with to become a billionaire while still being an active player that will then transition into an ownership, a majority ownership perspective in the likes of Michael Jordan. Like, that's the staple of the NBA. Michael Jordan, LeBron James, your two owners, guys that have played. And by the way, what kind of brand messaging does that send to what's going to happen next in the league? You're telling every little kid out there, hey, if you were to do it like this and surround yourself with the right people and have the luck on the court to get to championships, to monetize those championships, you could potentially own an NBA team one day as well. And by the way, ownership is not something that's new for LeBron James. He's part of Fenway Sports Group that already owns the Boston Red Sox, already owns the Pittsburgh Penguins, already owns Liverpool FC. So there is experience with his team and ownership to begin with, Stephen A., which you name me a reason why they would hold anything against him to take part in something like this. There is none.
Well, I can give you a reason. It's not right. It's not right for them to do it, but I can tell you what their apprehension is. Let's make sure that we understand the times that we're living in and who's been one of the leading voices in sports in terms of bringing attention to issues that would make, dare we say, the good old boys club that exists in the NFL and NBA and other places very, very uncomfortable. LeBron James. And so as a result of that, remember, it's not just the money that you have. They have to let you in. They have to want you into their club. And you are going to have some who are going to be resistant to that. I'm advocating on behalf of LeBron James, unapologetically. He ain't asking, nobody did, but I'm doing it because it needs to happen. He deserves ownership of a franchise. And the only reason he doesn't deserve it now is because you can't have it while you're playing, okay? Because if he could get it now while he was playing, I'd say give him ownership stake right now. A majority ownership stake. He deserves it. He's that worthy of it. But his voice in those rooms about issues that percolate, not just as it pertains to the game, but beyond. It's incredibly important that a voice like his would be in that room with these other owners, with the board of governors, with the commissioner, the league office, and beyond. Mm-hmm. His voice is pivotal. And so I think that his conscience, and he's a conscientious observer. He's a good brother, a good man. He's an incredible role model, and he is a superstar. There is nothing missing, and there's absolutely no excuse whatsoever for him not to have a majority ownership stake in an NBA franchise. But there will be those who are resistant just because, Jay, they don't want him in the same room as them, hearing what they think, being called on the carpet potentially for it, things of that nature. There will be resistance, but it shouldn't be much. Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming, sports, and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.